My grandfather was the founder. When my father went to the Vietnam War, when he got back, the yard was closed. And so he went to my grandmother and he said, I want to reopen the yard. That was 1967. And he went to the bank and he borrowed a small amount of money and he reopened, and the rest is history.
We were on Second Point Road, and it was maybe a 1 acre site. Back then, we had an old Lorraine crane and hooking the cars with a chain, picking them up, tipping them over, cutting the chassis off them.
Here's a guy that was grew up in this industry since he was in his teens.
Charlie's salvage yards were his whole life, and I met Charlie in the 70s, and he had one small little salvage yard on Second Point Road in North Haven, and I mean, he's grown his business into an empire. I mean, it was everything he wanted, everything he did everything for the business. I mean,
Charlie was extremely motivated. He loved the industry and he just loved all the people in it.
He looked at everybody the same way. No matter where you worked, what position, he treated everybody the same.
How much he cared for everyone around him, it really rallied his employees and his friends to be behind him and to work for him, and to work with him, because he was there with them, working every night, making sure things got done. And because he had such a strong connection with his employees, they loved working for him. It wasn't a chore if he asked them, hey, can you stay late with me for an hour today to help? They would rally behind him and they would be happy to.
Charlie would say, well, we just got to work a little harder and a little longer. And, it would be a matter of rallying the troops, and I would sometimes look at what was happening and shake my head and say, I don't see how we can get this done. But later in the evening, it would be done.
Yes, he could be hardcore and yell at you, but 5 minutes later, everything is good. You know what I'm saying? He got his point across, we did what we had to do, and I think that's the respect he got out of everybody.
But even as driven as he was, and as concentrated as he was on the job getting done, Charlie had compassion. Charlie had compassion for everybody, and it didn't matter who you were, what you did. Charlie was just deep down, just a really good guy. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. I mean, he was just a real good soul. He was a good guy.
He was always like a forward thinker, like thinking of the future. Even though when our younger generation, my wife and I, we didn't always see it, he saw it. He saw that getting this warehouse was going to be a big impact in the company. We were like, oh geez, why are we taking this on? But he proved us wrong time and time again.
Over the years, sometimes you have busy seasons and slower seasons, or your life is busy, but coming to the meetings, that was never negotiable. He looked for these meetings every year, and he was eager to learn. He never stopped learning. Coming here was one source, but even just talking to his peers and his contemporaries in this room. You go to the classes at night. You're sharing dinner. You're sharing ideas. Reading periodicals. I mean, he never ever. He was hungry to learn, and that was the truth. He was hungry to learn.
He wanted to run a business, and he liked to see his business grow. Not only for himself, but for his family, and for the people that work for him. He wanted them to be part of it.
I think Charlie would be honored by receiving this award, surprised, probably thrilled.
He put, every day into this business for years, and it really was his life. So I think that this award really would have been something that he would have cherished and appreciated.
To receive this kind of recognition would just put a huge smile on his face, and he would welcome it.
He'd be proud. He'd be humbled. He'd be the first guy to say, I don't deserve the award, give it to somebody else.
He was, and right now it's still going on because we're going to see his vision to the next stage. We're going to put the new shredder up. We're going to be that empire that he wanted. So his vision's still alive, very much alive.